Okay, we're going to install the bees.
Right. We have a package of bees that we're going to install in our beehives. This is a 3-pound package of bees that has about 14,000 bees in it. They're all in there. In there is also a cage with the queen in it, and there's a big jar of sugar syrup that they've been eating while they traveled up from Georgia last night. So to start with, put those down right there. We'll take our cover off.
Always work from the back or the side of the hive.
That we're going to take
your hive cover and your inner cover. Stand them up on the edge.
And then we're going to remove 3 of the frames from the center of the hive.
And normally you'd be handling these frames from the very edges because there would be bees in there. You'd want to do it from the outside like that.
All right. So the first thing we have to do is put our veil on so we don't get bees up our nose.
Or in our ears. I'll bring the camera closer for this part.
You recording?
Yes.
All right, first thing we want to do, there's a piece of Luan on top, and we're going to use our hive tool and pop that off. And what that does is it exposes the can of syrup and this little strap here that's holding the queen cage. Now we're going to use this Luan again, and I'm going to take the staples out so I don't end up sticking them in my hand. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to take my hive tool and stick it in here and get underneath the lip of this can so I can get a grip on it.
Sometimes it's hard to get the cover off, but it's important just to be patient, take your time. You don't want to get frustrated because the bees can sense it when you're irritated. And they get irritated right alongside you.
Okay, now that I have a grip on the can, what I want to do is as I slide this, pull the can out, I'm going to slide this piece of board back over the hole so the bees don't all come out with it. We will get some flying around, but we're going to try to keep most of them in the box. And I'm just going to give the can a little shake as I pull it out. There we go. There's a few bees came out with it, and I'm just going to take the can and I'll put it over here by the entrance. And I want to make sure I'm not going to crush any of the bees. Now that should stay there right. So now what I want to do is get my queen cage out. And I want to keep that there. Take this piece of I want to grab onto the strap so when I pull the staple out, the queen cage doesn't go falling inside with all the bees, because then you have to reach in there and get it. Okay, so now I got the staple out of that. Now I'm going to get the queen cage out. This is where it starts to get fun. And there's all these bees hanging out over here, and I'm just going to come and I'm going to shake them inside the hive, and then we'll look inside and we'll check for the queen and see if we can figure out which one the queen is. There it is. Can you see it? She's kind of moving around a lot. See that she's the one right there on the...
Yep.
Now inside this queen cage, you can see there's a piece of white stuff that's called queen candy, and it's blocking the exit hole. And there's a little cork here, and we have to take the cork out so the bees have access to that, and they'll eat their way from both ends and let the queen out in about 3-4 days.
You see the queen is the larger. She's in there with a few attendants, but she's the largest. The attendants are there to clean and feed her. She does not do that for herself.
Now, before I do this, what I want to do is take this strap and put it on the other way, because they have the strap. You want the candy, when it's hanging inside the hive, to be pointing up. So I want to just come over here and put that down and get my knife out and pop those staples out without crushing any of the bees. Bees don't like to be crushed.
See that they're very gentle. They're not aggressive. It's very strange to hear them buzzing around you, and you know, you want to like swat or duck or something, but...
So now I'm going to take this strap and I'm going to stick it on the back like this, and I'm going to take a thumbtack here, see if I can do this without dropping anything. Clearly we bought the dullest tacks we could.
So you want that candy pointing
I don't
up.
like that. The tack went all the way through.
Would you like me to get you some of the push pins?
I don't think the push pins will work. I'm going to do it differently.
The candy's pointing up because as they eat through it, the bees will be eating, you know, the attendants from the inside and the bees from the other side. But if anybody dies, you don't want them falling down and blocking the hole. So you want the hole up, which is what's going to allow the queen to slowly make her way in with the rest of the bees as they get used to her.
So now I got that like that. Oh, I got to take the cork out. Almost forgot to take the cork out.
The cork is covering up the piece of candy. Just a tiny little cork. He's just popping it right out.
There it is.
There you go. And there's the candy.
Okay, now I'm going to take this pin, or this, and I'm going to hang this. I'm trying to put stuff in my mouth to hold it, and it doesn't work when I have a veil on. I'm going to put it so that the candy hole is pointing up and that the queen cage is hanging about 2 to 3 inches from below the top of the frame. Now we're just going to take this frame here, and we're just going to push everything to the side. Make sure that everything looks fine in there. Okay, now the queen cage is between these two frames. Alright, this is where the fun begins. Now what we're going to do is take all those bees and put it into that hive. And you do that by taking your box, picking up the box, and anytime you touch anything you want to make sure you don't put your hands on one of the bees, because if you squeeze them they get mad and they'll sting you. And all I'm going to do is take this box and I'm going to bang it on the ground. And then I'm going to take the top off and I'm going to go like this.
A few good shakes.
And I'll just bang it again. Make sure there's getting. You want to get most of them out. They won't all come out, but we're just going to take